Time now for a Sioux Falls real estate update with Brent Baker from Clients First Group and Keller Williams. How are you, sir?
It's a good day.
It is a good day. And we are now cruising through, like, it's hard to think that it's September and, like, school year is here. And wasn't 4th of July, like, a week ago?
Well, it seems like it. And I think, what did I do this summer for fun? And then I go, oh, yeah, I worked.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's fun. And, there are probably some people that would love to have that to do. Today, we're going to talk about the Great Wealth Transfer, a new era of opportunity, which, again, this is something that probably doesn't affect everybody equally, sadly. There are going to be some people going, boy, I sure wish there was a bunch of wealth coming to me. We don't all have a rich uncle or, grandma or whatever. But this is something that there's a massive amount of money from one generation that's going to be trickling to a different generation in the next coming few years, isn't there?
Well, there is. If you go back in time, people tended to buy a house and stay in that house until they died or went to the nursing home, and they didn't go out in accumulating other properties. But, over time, people left the farm, bought a house in town, maybe bought a rental house, and then inherited some property either from their parents, the farm, whatever the case may be. But they've been slowly accumulating assets. And the generations that have left the farm have tended to do more and more of that.
Yeah.
And so now they're holding all this property, and they are now of the age where they're cutting back. Either they want less work to do or they're passing away. They need to start, some of that's going to get sold.
Yeah.
And so we're at that time period in history where there's going to be a big shift from these people that have been accumulating properties for a number of years. Those will soon be getting passed on in the next 20 years.
And I'm reading here, the Great Wealth Transfer, estimated wealth to be inherited through 2045, which sounds like a long ways. That's 20 years. I mean, that's just the next 20 years. So in the next 20 years, this is in trillions, baby boomers are going to be, and that's from 1946 to 1964. They're going to be inheriting somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 trillion, which that's nothing to sneeze at. But when you look at Gen X, 1965 through 1980, $30 trillion. That generation should be inheriting in that 20-year period. Millennials, $27 trillion, and that's from 1981 to 1996. And then Gen Z, which is 1997 through about 2012, is $11 trillion. So the generation that's going to be inheriting the most in the next 20 years is Gen X. And a lot of these are people who probably, maybe they already own their home or maybe they're buying their home. But if they have this inheritance that's coming from when grandma passes away or great uncles pass away or whoever passes away, that's going to make a big difference on what they can afford for a home or for everything in their life, really.
Well, that's true. The impact of those things is huge. And it puts them in a different position, and they may want to keep the family lake home, or they may want to dispose of those and buy something better for themselves. But the fact is, there's a lot of property that is going to change hands in 20 years. Mm-hmm. And that means we need buyers for those properties. But at the same time, we keep having kids coming out of college, starting career, whatever the case may be. There's a need for those properties. Those properties are not sitting vacant today. Yeah. They're in use. It's just who occupies them.
And as that changes, as a different generation is the one occupying that, one of the things that you're seeing is there's a shift, and it impacts more than just the housing. When in the economy, this big shift that happens, it kind of touches on a whole bunch of different areas, doesn't it?
Well, like a lot of things in our economy, there are dominoes.
Yeah.
This tips against that, and then that one tips against this. And we see our own personal daily life. We don't realize what that impact is outside of our lives or outside of our community. We just see right in front of our faces.
Yeah.
There's going to be big long-term benefits. There's probably going to be some side effects that we didn't get too excited about, but I think we need to be thinking beyond today about what those things are, what we're going to do. We want to be in a place where if you want to be buying some of those, you better be getting ready today.
And if you would like some assistance with that, I would love to recommend a realtor that I like. His name is Brent Baker. Oh, hey, that's you. If somebody listening is seriously going, maybe it is time to start thinking about the future, whether they have a property that they maybe want, instead of having the family try to figure out what to do with it, if they say, hey, I'm going to sell this and it's easier for me to just divide up money, and then it's a lot easier that way. Or if there's somebody going, hey, I'm in a market to buy a home. I've got this inheritance sitting here. Maybe I should be buying a home. If they have a question about either buying or selling, how do they get a hold of you, sir?
605-310-0297. Or if you're afraid to talk to me, you can email me at brentbaker@kw.com.
Very nice. And I will tell you, he's one of the easiest people on the planet to talk to. So Brent is chatty like me, and sometimes these little 5-minute interviews turn into an hour after the interview. So I'm not complaining. I have fun. There are times Heidi tells me, you need to get back to work.
I hear a whip cracking in the background.
I think so. If you would like to reach out to Brent, you can find him at clientsfirstgroup.com, and you can catch this program, if you maybe caught the tail end of it on the radio, we have it as a podcast as well at SiouxFallsPodcast.com.